In today's video I want to show you how you can add drums onto your beats, and I recently did a video on how to slice a sample and how to actually turn a sample into something new. You can check that out right here, and yeah, let's get right into it. So I already have a sample that I've chopped up and made to a new melody which sounds like this. And also I've already recorded a drum break from some 70s song. So we're gonna head to the sample edit page, and here you can see the sample, and the drum break sounds like this. And when you work with drum breaks, you actually have multiple ways on how you can approach it. But first of all, you should discard the beginning where there's no sound, and you do that by selecting sample start and then just getting to the beginning of the sample of the drum break. So basically like this. And the next thing you want to do is discard the beginning, which you do like this. And now the beginning is where the first kick is. And now you want to head to the chop page. Now you can either go by rearranging the drum break and just chop it up in 16, or you make the drum break to the one shots. So first off, I want to show you how you can rearrange a drum break. So basically you go into the chop mode, which says manual, and now you can chop the drum break and actually adjust the slices while you chop. So I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm not going to chop up the whole sample because I just want to showcase you how this works. So basically now you have multiple chops with like pieces of the drum break, and you can just start playing around with it like you would do with a normal sample. So for example, and just like kind of get creative and find some new patterns. So this is one way, and you can just like start playing around with this and then just kind of add a pattern to your sample. But the way I like to go about this is actually turn a drum break into one shots, because I just feel like I can get a little bit more creative and just make my own patterns to my liking. And for that you need to change the chop mode to threshold, and now you actually have one shots. And from here you can actually just like start to find the sounds that you want to use. So basically I'm gonna go with this kick, this hi-hat, this snare, and this open hat. And as you can hear on the kick, you can a little bit hear how this chop is like going into the snare, which follows after the kick. And to avoid that, you want to make a fade out on this particular kick. And you do that by choosing the pad that you want, in this case the kick, and then just press fade out. And now the kick is very clean and almost a perfect one shot. I'm gonna do the same thing with this hi-hat, because this just makes like the one shots a lot cleaner. And now you're just gonna go hit new program and hit do it, and you have a perfect like drum rack for your beat. So after we've made this to a program, we're gonna hit main and select a program which is called drums. Choose that, and now we have all of our one shots. And from here, like, it always depends on if you start with the drums and then add a sample onto that, or if you start with the sample and add the drums later on. I usually start with the sample, so my BPM is already set. If not, you should go ahead and play in a pattern and then choose the BPM, or especially when you use like the way of chopping and making patterns, you have to like match the tempo, which I've already shown in the sample video. But with one shots, the BPM doesn't matter, which is actually something I quite like about it. You can also, with drums, you can try to pitch them down and see if it sounds better. This works especially good for kicks. I'm gonna go one semitone down, and now you can actually just try to start recording a pattern. And usually I start with my hi-hat, in this case this pad, and I like to do that in 16 levels, which basically means that all of the pads are different velocities. So you basically choose the pad that you want to apply 16 levels to, in this case the hi-hat, and then you just press 16 levels. Then after I've applied 16 levels to my hi-hat, I like to turn time correction off so I can get some kind of swing into it. And now I can start recording. Now we have recorded our hi-hat, so we can go out of the 16 level mode. And afterwards you want to make sure that you go into your program editor and choose poly, which means that the samples or the one-shots can lay on top of each other. If you have it on mono, the samples or the one-shots are going to cancel each other out. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we can start adding other sounds. So I like to go with the snare next, which I have right here. And you've probably heard it before, like simplicity is key. So therefore my hi-hats are like two-step pattern and my snare is going to be on the 2 and the 4, so nothing special. And to record the snare on top of the hi-hat, you want to press overdub and then play start. So now we have added our hi-hat and our snare, and the next thing we want to do is apply our kick. And for the kick, you can also go with 16 levels, because that basically allows you to have a ghost kick that is a little bit lower in the velocity. So you can go like, just kind of get some variation in. And for my drums, I usually just go with whatever feels right to me. And I'm also going to record my drums without time correction, so I can also get some swing in there. So again, I press overdub and play start, and I just try to record a pattern. And just like that, I actually have a drum pattern, and I can now like try to add different stuff like the open hat, which I again do by overdub and play start. And from here I can go into the grid editor and I can move around different sounds to like make all of my sounds fit and make the drum groove as I want it to be. And sometimes you need to adjust some kicks that are completely out of place, because it can happen that that's gonna damage your beat. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust some of the slices, and then we actually can start mixing the drums, make them sound better, adjust the levels. And now I have corrected the pattern and also applied some effects so it sounds more lo-fi and more boom bappy. And what I have now is basically this. We have a simple drum pattern on our sample, which most of the time a simple drum pattern is gonna be enough, because in sample-based hip-hop, we want the sample to be like the thing that people listen to. The drums are like kind of secondary. For example, Dilla often used just one bar where he made the drums and just repeated that over and over again. And I think what's most important when it comes to drums, make them complement your sample. And yeah, that's actually all I have for you today. I just wanted to show you how to apply drums, different ways on how to apply drums. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.